Hey guys, work was fun today. We had a stupid meeting. It was highly uneventful. I got, nobody yells at me. My boss was a little heated about something, and I'm like, dude, you didn't sign off on it. So that's why it's not done. I need it done by tomorrow, and it's like, okay, not a national emergency, definitely not my problem. It's still in programs. What do you want? It just, I think I'm reading into it differently than what he's saying. I do that a lot. Like, what's your tone? Oh my God, I'm really bad with a lot of people are bad with trying to read tone into an email. But anyway, long story short, it's just been grueling. I'm not enjoying my job right now. And it's not because there's a lot of bad things happening. It's just, I just don't, I'm just not happy with it. It's a thing. It'll either go away or it'll evolve into something evil. That's just how it is. So, what are we going to talk about today? How wonderful my imaginary world is and how drastically different it is for me on the outside, out in the real world, the one that actually you can touch people. So in my imaginary world, I almost have 500 followers on YouTube. We're 497. I'm at 12,333 followers on Twitter. I have, my DMs look like, yeah, they're crazy. Across Instagram, Twitter, YouTube's not so bad. And I'm not saying, please, just continue to do what you're doing. If you want to reach out and say hi, reach out and say hi. I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying I have like this plethora of guys that are interested in me, that tell me, all the things that guys tell you. You're really good looking, you're smart, you're funny, blah, 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 blah. And thank you. I do appreciate that. So that's the imaginary world. The one where I get to listen to people say nice things, and I'm not even going to tell you what it looks like on my Snapchat. Holy crap. Yeah, it's exactly what you think. I sit there and I just kind of chuckle. I have a couple guys that, yeah, I could talk about, but, I don't want to embarrass them. And not that I think that they watch this, but it's kind of like one of those things where, you ever notice I have all these nervous habits? I do. I like itch everywhere too. It's like I have all these guys that are like, I have like this invested group of people that keep reaching out to me, and it's like, oh, this is really cool. Then I walk out into the real world where people don't talk, and I have to deal with belligerent idiots at work because it can't be me. So, but I'm out in the world and I see people, I say hi, I don't get the response like I get in my imaginary world of the internet and YouTube and Instagram and etc. etc. And I just kind of sit here like, well, what the hell is the disconnect? Is it me? This is where I start. Is it me? Is there something I'm doing? And so if I really like dig and ask myself what it is I'm doing differently in the real world versus the imaginary world, you guys know a lot more about me than anybody in the real world does at this point. Anybody? Oh, maybe my sister. Maybe my sister knows more than you, but not by much. It's really weird. And, and I'm getting guys, forgive me. Oh, I got a sunburn and it's now doing that itchy part. I'm getting guys that are contacting me on oh God, scruff today. And the guy's like, hey, I watch your videos. And I'm like, huh. Thank you. Thank you. It's kind of interesting to have somebody let you know how they know you. And this is exactly why I'm doing this, is so that people out there in the world know who I really am. It's just kind of disconcerting to have somebody say, hey, by the way, I know you from, and you're like, oh, so this is the perception you will have of me. Because that's how I present myself on Instagram versus Twitter versus YouTube. I try to keep them as similar as possible because it's still me. But like my Twitter tends to be a little bit more towards the funny side. Instagram tends to be more towards my workouts and just me, doing my thing like this. And then YouTube is like, there's not a lot of funny. I mean, obviously I tell my jokes and whatnot here, but it's mainly meant for me to communicate long-windedly and hope that I get a message across. So it's just, I guess what I'm getting to, what I'm trying to say is the fake world of the internet, it doesn't exist. It seems like I'm able to do my thing a lot easier. And in the real world, it's much more difficult for me. I have quite the reputation at work. This all leads together, of being rather belligerent because I stand my ground and demanding people do their jobs correctly. And that's a really good place to be. The problem is, of course, then you become known as like the workhorse, or in my case, the war horse that they send in to blow through stupid people. And unfortunately, my leadership has pointed the finger right at program teams and then sicked me on them. Like, you need to go do the following. And I'm like, why? That's not mine. I don't own that. Well, we have to help them and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what the hell? Nobody's doing that for me. Ever. Period. Even my managers just go, you got this, right? Yeah. I'm going to be over there. And you're like, so we're sitting in this meeting, and my boss is like, so what are we supposed to do when the customer shows up? And we're like, this is what we did last time. Well, we're going to be leaning on you guys to lead this. And we're like, yeah, we knew that. And they're like, what do you mean? We knew you were going to do that. Well, okay. We're kind of used to it. All y'all have no concept of what you're doing. And you're too afraid to say, what are our ideas? What do we want to do? Instead, you're going to be like, you've done this before. You're in charge. And it's like, really? That's your leadership? Thanks. Put more pressure on the guy that's already under a lot of pressure. It's no big deal. I am actually very strong. I just wish it did something for me. And they'll say, well, you got a good raise. Yeah. I can see I can see more than a couple dollars show up in my bank account that weren't there last year, but it's still the same old, like, I spend most of my time fighting. I walk over to my plant, I'm looking at parts, and I'm like, tell me what's wrong with this part. And the team lead comes over and looks at it, and he goes, if you look right there. And I said, is that how you're supposed to look at it? And he goes, no. I said, so why is this part in here? Why am I coming over here to explain to you guys how to manage your business? The reason that's packed in there is because my people said it was fine. And your people are saying it's not, and they marked it. And now it's gotten scratched because you guys have moved it around a couple times at this point. And he just kind of sat there and he says, well, now you see what I'm fighting. And I'm like, what you're fighting? Dude, I had to come over here and look at this stuff, and you guys weren't even going to do that. And by the time I got back to my plant, it would have gotten scratched some more. So then it would have been definitely not usable. This is a waste of company resources. You guys are wasting company resources. And that is the fun fight that I get to fight every day in the real world. And in the real world, I get to come home, stand in front of my camera, which is on a tripod with the window right there, trying to get all this stuff organized so that I can put it on a website where hopefully somebody smart and sincere will see it and watch it and say, wow, that guy's pretty insightful, or oh my God, I don't want that job. You don't want this job. There's a reason why they have to pay us well, because it's miserable. It can be very miserable, and I'm okay. It'll be fine. I'll get over it. Within 20 minutes, I'll be downloading and I'll be thinking about the gym. And today's leg day, and it's leg day. I have to start lying to myself again about how much I love leg day. My legs feel really weird, like they're like, this is solid. I don't know if you guys can see that. That is good legs. Ooh, and I'm peeling on my legs because I've got sunburn on the back of my calves. Wonderful. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Everything I complain about my job, I actually really love what I do, and I love like the fight. It's just, it can be oppressive at times. And being a perfectionist means that I oftentimes like keep beating on the same thing over and over and over again until people listen to me, and hope to God the next time I start talking, they don't try to do the same thing again. Because you should just listen to me from the get-go. Just saying. I love you guys. I love you, dude. Keep up the fight.